In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get your OBSBOT Talent up and running right from out of the box. Hey, what's going on? It's JP. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, then we talk about music tech, live streaming tech, and then live looping tech as well. So if that's something that you like, have a look through the channel and maybe subscribe as well. Now, the OBSBOT Talent is a 5.5-inch display all-in-one system for live streaming on the go. You could live stream anywhere as long as you've got a Wi-Fi or an Ethernet connection. And I'm going to show you how you get this little box up and running. Now, I've got my phone just here pointing down, recording the desk, and it's actually turned down quite a lot because this screen is so reflective. You can even see my Mac there. Hi, there you go. So we're going to put this on. Now, it's got a couple of buttons all around it, and I did a video all about it, more like an overview, but this video is getting it out of the box, getting it up and running to the point where you can start a live stream. So the first thing we're going to do is just put it onto the camera here. As I say, this screen is so reflective, and then we're just going to turn it on with the on button. And there we go, we've got OBSBOT right there. Now for the rest of this is going to pretty much stay where it is. And as it boots up, it then says, hello. Click the little arrow there. And there's a couple of different languages. We're going to go with English. And we can set the device to have a name. This is so you can find it on local networks. And then we click next. There's a license agreement, so I'm going to agree to that. And we agree, there we go. And the next thing you need to do is connect it to one of three ways. You can insert a USB modem, so therefore you can be cellular, and maybe have it in a field somewhere. And then you can also connect it to Ethernet. There's a dedicated Ethernet port on the bottom just here. But for today, we're going to be connecting it to our Wi-Fi. That's just going to connect to the broadband of the house. Just going to turn the Wi-Fi on, and then we'll pick my Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to put in the password. Can I remember the damn password? Can I egg?
A few moments later.
So there we go, we've actually connected. Let's go back one. And now we've done that, it's asking you to log in. Now you need an OBSBOT account, and this is so you can log into different stuff. So once it's recognized the email address, you don't have a password per se, it sends you a verification code to your email, which is cool because you can just click get and it'll send that over. There's the email, I'll get the verification code and we'll put that in now. And then you click log in, and what it does is it logs you into your account. Now what we're going to do is you're going to load a show, and it's actually asking you, what do you want? Do you want it in landscape or do you want it in portrait? The OBSBOT Talent works in both, and you can have multiple shows. So for the first show, we're just going to put it down as landscape, so that's fine. Now what this does is it boots up this screen, and this screen actually shows you a picture with HDMI 1, 2 and a webcam. So for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to actually move across. It shows this is the scene list. You've got your control scenes here. Then you've got your stream and record. And then the 3 lines is the main menu. So right now, this happens. And then you're wondering, what on earth do I do? Because it kind of just shows you the only thing it's got, which is it's got a default picture, which is this picture. Give it a single tap, and now it shows you what all the different inputs are. So now I've got this up and running, and I know this looks a bit dark. It's because this screen is so bright. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down one of the ones that's not being used. So for example, I'm going to hold down the HDMI one. And you can see it then says rename, delete, copy or edit. The one that's actually being shown at the moment, which is in red, if I hold it down, I can't delete it because it's showcasing it at the moment. But we can get rid of it eventually. So just to show you this, I'm going to delete all the different sources that come up. Now, you don't have to do this. You could actually just plug in to these sources, no problem. But I want to show it you like this. So therefore, you've just got this picture, and that's it. That's the picture that would be live streamed if we went streaming right now. Or what we could do is we can actually just press plus, and this will bring up a load of different scenes. The scenes are places of contact, aka the HDMI, a video clip, a picture, a NDI stream if you want to use it. So we'll pick HDMI 1. There's no signal. Now HDMI 1 comes up and you've got all these different things you can do. Position, size, crop, frame, label it. You've got horizontal, you've got, and it carries on by the way, you've got transition, chroma key, PTZ control, and what format it's in. You've got all these different ones. You've got layers, music, if you want to add music from the internal storage. You've got the sound coming from that source. Maybe you don't want it to be super loud, or maybe you don't need it to be making noise at all. You can add layers of stuff to one source, which is really clever. So therefore you could have a couple of different titles all designed really nicely together, as one input. But you can also embed things like another HDMI source or a webcam or an SRT stream or a text or a color. We could add multiple ones. So maybe you've got JP and then underneath you've got another text that says John Paul Music UK. But for now, I'm just going to click save in the top right hand corner, and then my HDMI option is there. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, we've talked about the OBSBOT tail airs, and I've got a couple of them. So I've got one here. Now this is already connected to my Wi-Fi, and if I just switch this on right now, this will sort itself out and then it'll be ready. It'll give 3 little bleeps and then we're ready to go. There we go. So now what this is ready, this can actually stream through what's called NDI. So we can send the audio and the video signal via the internet on the Wi-Fi, and I can pick it up at the other end. So I know now this is in NDI mode. I've just checked it to make sure. And then what I can do is here, I can actually click a source and you've got NDI stream. It says there's nothing there. It needs to do an NDI search. So automatically it's found that camera, and then I can just tap it, and there it is. There it is, up and running right now. If I move it around, there we go, point it at my face. Now, one of the things I've noticed about this is it can look a little bit saturated, and that's okay because you can adjust it and it's no problem at all. But that is up and running right now, and you've still got all the different things. We can do chroma keying, and for now it's just going to have the image of me there. I'm just going to place it there whilst we sort it out, and then I can do a couple of different things, including PTZ control, because this is a pan, tilt, zoom camera. We've got PTZ control there, and we can actually say different controls. But for now, we're just going to leave it as it is and then just click save. And there it is as a controllable camera. Now, in order to control it, what I can do is I can actually grab a couple of things. I've got PTZ right here, and then I can start moving this camera and move it down like that. There we go. So the great thing with this is I've got this here, that's fine. I can even say tracking and then get out of there. And this is a really fast system. I've got a HDMI input. I've now got a tail air that's on batteries. I can reach for it and grab it, and there it is. It's actually running independently. And this is the great thing about OBSBOT, which is basically because they build the tail air and because they build the talent, these two can talk to each other. It's kind of part of their ecosystem, which is quite useful. So having a look at this in the top left-hand corner, you can see my voice. You can see a volume indicator, and that's coming in from the talent. And then if I go to a different thing there for picture, you notice it's stopped. The reason for this is because the way this is set up is it's not actually using the volume when it's not selected. Look, you can see the volume just there, just in the corner there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this. So now as I talk, you can see it says AFV. The audio follows the video. We don't want that. We want this to be always on. So if I turn that now to always on and get out of there, if I now move over to here, you can see that the audio is still coming through. And that's what you want. It's what you want to set it up as, because if you're showing a picture and it's describing something, or you've got 2 microphones, one from this one from this one, and you don't want the audio to change, then you need that to be on always on. So I'm going to leave it like this for a second because this is the clearest image I can give you really. So as it said before, your main menu is here. You got your account, you can create a show, you can have a show list. So you could have one in portrait, one in landscape, depending on where you're streaming to. You can also just record on here. You don't have to stream to it. So it's an SD card slot, and you could record to that SD card slot as well. The little icon here with the faders, that is the audio mixer, and I really like it. I think it's been really well designed. I like the fact it comes up white because it's really clear to see. It's really easy on the eye. Everything you have has an audio output, and they've designed this so incredibly well. Then you've got GFX, so you can bring in a load of graphics. So we can actually go into bring in a title, we can bring in a lower third, an animated text. It really is up to you. So let's bring in a lower third here. And they've got a couple of pre-made ones. So let's use this one. And then I can just tap on it. Let's change it. And we'll just change the subtitle on this one as well. There we go. So I've now got a lower third that says JP, and underneath it says John Paul Music UK. I'm just going to click save. So now let's go back to the tail air. Let's go to our effects and let's bring that in. Now it goes right in the middle because that's what we've told it to do. If we want to edit this, what we can do is we can hold it down, we can click edit. So maybe we want it to be a slightly different size. Remember, this is going to be the size of the whole screen. So I'm going to put it there in the corner and then click save. Now the other thing you can do as well is you can spin things around. You can also lock it as well, so you don't readjust it by accident. So I can't adjust it right now. So if I grab that, it basically stops me from adjusting the parameters of it, which is quite good. So I'm going to click save and then bring that in. So we can just bring that in. and it just goes in straight away. You can also set it so it slides in or moves in a certain way, and you can animate it. You've also got drawing, and you can actually draw on top of, and this will appear on the live stream as well. So just be aware that you can actually draw stuff, and then you can fade it in and out, which is really, really cool. So you can turn around and say, actually, I want to draw things, or you just want to highlight something. Live, you can do that, which is really nice. Then you've got the three little dots. So we've got remote control, and OBSBOT actually sell a remote control that you can connect to this. So maybe you don't want to touch it, but you want to actually just switch cameras with the remote control. You can do that here. The PTZ is built in, so you can do that here. And you've also got FTB, which is fade to black. So if I just tap that now, it fades to black. That's it. And that's what it would look like on the stream. You can also do freeze. So right now I've frozen it at this wonderfully beautiful look. And it's frozen in that point. And then we can unfreeze it. There we go. Maybe you need to freeze it for something. Go and just go like this and go. There you go. What a beautiful picture. Then we can just unfreeze it. You can also go switch scenes and how you switch them, which is cool. So you've basically got a quick switch. You can fade, and you can actually say what the fade is, or you can cut straight away. I believe they are going to make some more of these, so you've got different ways of switching between scenes and the duration as well. And then one nice thing as well, because it is a 5.5-inch display, is you can actually resize these. I'm not talking about the size of the actual screen here, but you can resize all these different elements. So if I actually go here and go to rearrange and size, you can change the order of things you've made. Maybe you've added a scene in, you're like, actually, I need that at the beginning. So we're going to actually hold this one down and move it across. So now our HDMI input is the first one, then we go to the picture, and then we go to the OBSBOT. This way you can actually just start going tap, 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 next, 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 and it works really well. You've also got a plus and a minus. So that is our biggest view. We can also make it a lot smaller if you want to as well. Kind of like the middle tier one, it's quite nice. If you've only got 3 looks, then maybe you want to actually have it a bit bigger so it's easier to tap on. So we're going to start with our HDMI. We're going to go to our picture, and then we're going to go over to our tail air, and that's lovely. And it doesn't have to be a tail air, it can be anything, because of course it's HDMI in or USB in, or you could do NDI as long as you've got an NDI device with an NDI license. In the top right hand corner, we've actually got the Wi-Fi signal, and you can see that it's been plugged in. You've also got battery option as well. If you plug a battery, it changes over. Then you can actually take a snapshot, so we can actually take a photograph right now. There we go. And it's saved that in the memory. It does have internal storage. And then the last 2 things is record. So you can record on device. Maybe you don't want to live stream, but you're using this to record a music show, or you're using it to record a podcast, or you're recording something like this, like you're recording a YouTube video. And that's this one right here. That's actually the top one. The bottom one is live stream. And this is where you log in to your live stream of choice. So at the moment, you've got YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, NDI, RTMP server, or SRT caller as well. Other places like TikTok and Instagram, you need to use things like RTMP server. Now, one of the other things as well, as I said to before, you can have multiple shows. So if I go to the show list, we can actually say, well, this is the one we're presenting. We can also default a show. The other thing you can do is you can import a show. So if you've made one on a different device, you can bring it in. If you don't need any graphics, this gets even simpler, but it's quite nice, certainly if you're going to do a live stream. Maybe you've got graphics that you've done, overlays, for example, that are stored on your computer. All you need to do is put them on an SD card, and you can bring them in. For example, I've got overlays that are a picture, so they are a PNG, so they're see-through. And so I can bring that in if I go to here and actually bring in a picture. And then we've got the internal storage and then the SD card. So we just put it onto the SD card, insert the SD card, and then choose it. And then it's there as part of the show. You could remove the SD card and it still saves on the show. In fact, it saves into the internal storage. Now, I've only scratched the surface on this today just to get you up and running. But believe me, this thing is a powerhouse when it comes to actually doing live streams. And I'm going to do a couple of live streams with this and the cameras to show you that it's completely doable without using either a PC or Mac. Now, if you want to have a look at something like this, which I believe is one of the best sort of cameras that you can use for live streaming as well as recording yourself as a musician, then have a look at this video because it's all about him.